I think there's been a lot of ups and downs in the last 2 years. Obviously, we took a pretty big risk blowing up a domestically successful roster and taking a chance on what we thought would be a stronger international roster that obviously didn't end up being that way. And in hindsight, you can say that it was a stupid thing to do and all these things, but we had already achieved a certain thing and we thought that this was what was necessary to achieve something more. I think for me personally, I had some learning lessons in 2018 that I didn't really apply in 2019. I feel pretty bad about that in hindsight. I think I should be a lot more direct with my teammates and have a lot more kind of personal talks with them, because I think criticism is really different coming from a place of another teammate that really cares about you compared to the coach who's always going to tell you to improve and is always going to tell you to get better. I think especially in 2019, there were some red flags or some things that I recognized were issues, and I didn't kind of take them into my own hands and just be honest and talk to my teammates about them, and some of them ended up really impacting our performance later on in the season because we didn't kind of deal with them in the beginning. So that's one thing that I don't think I've done enough, and it's definitely something I'm looking to change about myself in 2020.
True to his words, will end them today. TSM routed, the game over, and that is the end of this series and the end of TSM's perfect record of attending the playoff finals. You're not allowed on this side. This one's for winners. Cloud9 3-0s. Bjergsen's gonna fall. The rest of his team is gone.
And that is the nail in the coffin. They're gonna take down TSM for the final touches. There's 3 kills. It's gonna be TSM going down. The first Nexus turret is gonna be in Clutch's eyes. A second year that they will miss it. And North America, put your hands together for your final world representative. Clutch game.
I definitely think getting away from LA is good for kind of resetting before starting back up, because it's kind of hard to just change your mindset completely, like 180 from working really hard in the same house and then, oh, now it's off season, now I'm just going to relax. I think a lot of people just end up still waking up and still going to the computer and just being like, oh, it's off season, so I guess I'll just play like a different game, World of Warcraft or a shooter or something, and spend their time doing that. At least now that I've gotten older in the last few years, I've really enjoyed home-cooked meals by my mom, really convenient and really tasty. Just having a lot of nature, a lot of green, a lot of forests around here.
Some harvesting.
Tager du bare med fingrene?
Ja, så skærer lige ned i jorden.
Nå, du bare kniver.
Det kan man bare plukke dem.
Yeah. We just go out in the forest, pick mushrooms, kill a deer, eat it for dinner. No, not really. This is my first time going mushroom hunting. But I think there's not that many different ones left. We're mainly looking for the one, which I don't know what it's called in English, which is edible, or they use it to spice up the sauce or something like that. But I think usually red means don't eat it. It's poisonous.
Det er en eller slåvogl, det hedder en trækkantarel, fordi at stænglen den er hul.
Okay. I think growing up in Denmark and in my small hometown when I was young, I really liked, because all your friends are really nearby. You can even walk to their house or do like a really short bike ride. I think for a long time I was also really unhappy here because I was struggling with a lot of things in school and being bullied and kind of feeling like an outsider and not really feeling accepted. And I think that for a long time that made me not like being here. And even kind of when I came back a few years later, when I had moved to LA or Germany, when I came back, I kind of started getting that feeling of like, oh, I don't feel super comfortable here, or I don't feel super happy here, or just a lot of memories of the rough times that I had. But I think I put that behind me enough to the point where I don't think about it, and I just come home, and now I can actually appreciate a lot of the aspects. I can appreciate the cold weather and things like that.
he's way more relaxed when he's back in Denmark, and because there's not too much work around or media or all of his colleagues. So when you are around in LA, you kind of want to also be an example of the other team members that you want to keep working hard. So I think he's better at relaxing when he's home and just taking a bit of time off.
This is where I went to kindergarten, in the middle of the forest, and we had to be outside all the time. You were never allowed to be inside other than for meals sometimes, and if it was like hailing really badly, if it was raining, then it's like, all right, then we go play in the wet forest. And my parents were pretty proud of it, that the kids that went to this kindergarten were kind of like different from the city kids, because we live in such a small town, and then we would go to into the forest every day to go to kindergarten. So we have a lot of fond memories. You can smell a bonfire because it's pretty cold, so I guess they just had a bonfire, and they will have like marshmallows and cookies or hot dogs or something over the bonfire. This is called the Children's Universe of my hometown, and it's like after school, before your parents get off work, you send your kids here and they just play, do sports, play outside, eat lunch, and they had like an attic with computers and PlayStations, and it was pretty much just one guy working here, and it was his idea to do the gaming room. It was just an attic where they were keeping stuff before, like storing things. It's interesting to think about what effect that one person had making that room on me. Who knows if I would have been a pro if he didn't do that.
Sweeping the floor.
I was in Australia when he became pro, so I called home to check on my dad and my brothers, and my dad told me that Soren was going to move to Germany because he joined a League of Legends pro team and started playing professionally. So I was like, yeah, what else is happening at home? Because I thought he was joking.
My family was really supportive because I didn't really have something here in Denmark that I was really passionate about or that really fit me or made me happy. I went to a few different schools, different programs, just nothing really stuck, and I spent most of my time playing video games. So I think they just saw it the same as me, as like my way out or my way in this world that's going to be the best for me. So they were just extremely supportive from the beginning. As soon as they knew it was legit and they had seen like Season 2 Worlds and seeing like, okay, there's actually a lot of money, there's a lot of fans in this. So there was kind of a long time coming where I'm probably going to do this thing. They had time to investigate and talk to people before I kind of turned 17, and then it was just time to go to Germany and play EULCS.
As he flings Freddy away again.
Can we see a
Quadra kill? Can he get the pentakill here? Bjergsen chasing down. Oh, he's missing just about, but there's pentakill coming in for Bjergsen, and Copenhagen Wolves are going to push through here and pick up their first victory in the LCS Europe after starting 9-0.
Honestly, I just wasn't happy back then with anything with myself. I was really insecure and anxious. Every day about little things like going to the store and like buying a sandwich. I would just have a lot of anxiety going up and even ordering something and paying, and I just really struggled, and the game was my only escape. The Bjergsen of 5-6 years ago was just young and stupid. I mean, I was just really selfish. I only really cared about my own performance, kind of like I guess most people in solo queue, but even when I played in a team setting, I didn't really talk, I didn't really say anything, but I wanted people to play around me. I wanted to be the one to succeed and play assassins and carry in all these things. But I mean, that's just how it is when you're young and you only see things from one perspective. And then I was still really deeply insecure, but I still had a massive ego because we were winning every single game pretty much, and I was getting a lot of solo kills, and I was kind of like blowing up. And it took me a while to kind of realize that I'm changing as a person. I'm not talking to people the way that I normally would. I feel like, at least as a player, as a gamer, I'm superior to these people when in reality, they're people just like I am and they're better than me in a lot of ways. And when I kind of lost some of the glue players in my team, some of the players that were leading the team both in and out of game, kind of like facilitating discussion in the game, talking about what objectives we're going to play on and how we're going to play around them, I kind of realized that, oh, you really need that in a team. And if I can't be that kind of player for my team, then I'm always going to be relying on someone else for my team to be successful. And if you can't be a leader, then you're just always going to be relying on someone else for your success, in my opinion.
Hvad så duster?
Ja, vi er faktisk ved at være nede på te. Vi kan godt købe te. Der er jo faktisk æblegelé her også. Skal vi ikke have det?
I feel like he's turned from being just a player to being a leader, and in those terms I'm really proud of him. And I think he was kind of shy in the start, but when he sort of told his story, he became more outspoken.
I think it's just logical to always try to be improving, because if you're not improving, other people around you are going to be improving and eventually you will fall behind. And I think I saw that very much with a lot of the old guard that was still around when I first joined the LCS, and how within 2 to 3 years a lot of them turned into streamers or coaches or just kind of quit completely because they were not changing a lot and they were not improving. They kind of had their initial skill set based on talent or based on playing a lot and kind of like their identity within the game. And then I know some players that are really great players, really, I guess you would say talented mechanical players, but they're just being held back by the way they work. Either they don't work hard enough and they're not focused on the right things, or maybe they work too hard and they burn themselves out and they don't have kind of any balance or emotional control. So I think I try to work on myself as a person overall, and then that will translate into the game rather than like only focusing on things that are directly correlated to the game, because I think it's a lot of work, it's a lot of grinding, and the person that you are when it comes down to those pressure moments and difficult days, that person has to be good enough.
Do you ever think about how much longer you have as a career as a player? Do you think that there is like an approximate time frame, or is it just, oh, you'll know when you get there?
I don't think there is a time frame exactly for when you should retire or when you're not good enough. I think for me it is when I feel like I can no longer be the best, or when I no longer feel that I can compete with the best and just be successful. I don't want to be like a bottom dweller or like an average mid laner in the LCS. I always want to be considered the best or one of the best. And I think it's difficult as a player to be objective about yourself and know exactly when that time is. But I think right now I still feel really confident in myself, and I think that when I start feeling those kinds of doubts in myself, I will talk to the people around me about what they think, but it doesn't really feel like that time is now. I think that I've matured a lot as a person, as a player, and to this day I feel a lot more calmer when I'm playing the game and when I'm able to play the game and put other things aside and just kind of sit by my computer and play. So I guess that hasn't changed very much, but I don't want to leave when TSM is at its lowest point, when I feel like I could do so much more to kind of bring them back to their glory. And in general, I just trust Reggie, Lena, Dan, everyone working at TSM a lot, and kind of like their values and what they care about. And I've been happy here for a long time, so I didn't see any reason not to continue.